Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Progressive Rock and Metal album review series. And today I am going to be taking a look at the short and extremely impressive catalogue from one of my favourite bands of all time in the progressive rock genre. And this is a band that I've been dying to talk about for quite some time on this series. And they're not what you would call a very well-known band. Not a lot of people know who these guys are, but I've been following them since near enough the very beginning, and they've been around since 2005, so they're coming into almost 18 years already, a couple of years away from almost 2 decades, and for me, I think this band is extremely talented. They've got everything going for them. Great musicianship, great material, great sound. You name it, this band has got it all, and they're the real deal. They don't mess around, and they always deliver top-notch quality music of the highest order. These guys, for me, need no introduction whatsoever. I am talking about, of course, the one and only Dutch progressive rock band, Silhoutte. So, Silhouette was formed in 2005 by vocalist and guitarist Brian De Greave, and in a way you could kind of look at Silhouette as a revolving band. So they've had a number of different musicians come in and out, but Brian De Greave is the main guy of the band, and they've had a number of different lineup changes, but the current lineup, it consists of Brian De Greave on guitars and vocals, Erik Laan on keyboards and vocals, so that's kind of like the core of the band, Daniel Van Weijde on second guitar, Jurjen Bergsma on bass, and Rob Van Nieuwenhuijzen on drums. So, as I said, this is kind of like the set lineup of the band. And Silhouette's music is very heavily influenced by Genesis, Pink Floyd, and Marillion, but their sound leans more towards traditional symphonic prog. Think of Yes, think of Arena, although they're more leaning towards hard rock. But Silhouette have their own style, they have their own sound, and when you hear them, you know straight away it's them. And a lot of that is Erik Laan's keyboard playing, Brian De Grieve's quirky vocals, and soaring guitar work. As I said, this band is extremely impressive, and they're one of my all-time favourites. So, for today's edition, I am going to be taking a look at Silhouette's catalogue, which is a total of 6 recordings. So that's 5 studio albums and 1 live CD/DVD. And I can honestly tell you, there is no clunker in this catalogue. Every album is well made, well produced, and as I said, there's no bad album here. They're all great. And as always, I am going to be talking about each album individually, and I'll be choosing which one I think is the best one. Not an easy challenge, especially when you've got a catalogue as impressive as Silhouette, but I think as we go through each album, I think everyone's going to really enjoy the fact that these guys know how to make an album, and they certainly know how to write a song. So we're going to start with the first album, which came out in 2007, and this is Silhouette's debut recording, A Maze. So as I mentioned, this is the first album for Silhouette, and it's pretty much helps set the tone for what the band are going to be all about. Little bit on the short side. Obviously, you know, a lot of their material would get a lot longer later on down the line, but there's plenty of great material and great songs to get your teeth into. So let's have a little look, shall we? So there is a shot of the band. So this features the first incarnation of Silhouette. So this is Brian De Greave on electric and acoustic guitars and vocals, Erik Laan on keyboards and vocals, Jos Uffing on drums, acoustic guitar and vocals, and Gerrit Jan Blomink on bass. So this is, as I mentioned, like the first lineup of Silhouette. And there is the band, and there's some lyrics. And then there's some more lyrics as well. And some more lyrics. And more lyrics here as well. And some more lyrics here too. So, not an easy album to find, but highly enjoyable nonetheless. Most of the material is written and composed by Brian De Greave, and there's also some contributions from Erik Laan and Jos Uffing, but this is pretty much most of Brian De Grieve's contributions, with some little contributions from the other band members. So we've got here the first track, Ocean of Life. Great opener, really good. The Lie, another great track. Special Days, Where Are You Now? The World Is Gonna Get You. Really good track, these. Betray Me, Reunion, Seize the Night, which is the longest track of the whole album, clocking in at 9 minutes, and Long Distance. Really good, solid debut album. Brian De Greave sounds great. Erik Laan sounds great. Erik Laan also, he's a big part of Silhouette sound with his keyboards, and he's also a great singer as well. Highly recommend you check out his band as well, Chain Reactor. They're an amazing band, which is kind of like an extension of Silhouette. So this is a really good album, and plenty of great guitar playing from Brian De Greave, great vocals from him as well, great singing from Erik Laan as well. And this is a real great band, really strutting their stuff on their first album. So standout tracks for me are The World Is Gonna Get You, Seize the Night, Ocean of Life, The Lie, Special Days, and Long Distance. But a good, solid collection of songs. As I said, not an easy album to find, but if you can find it, get it. It's a great place to start. I think this album is absolutely fantastic. So there you have it. Silhouette's debut recording, A Maze. Love it. Good album. So we move on to the next album, and this came out in 2009. And this is Moods. Great follow-up and continuation from A Maze. So here you see the band getting more serious, getting more adventurous in their music. The songs are getting longer and longer. And for me, this has got some of my favourite songs on this album here. So let's have a look. So as you can see there. So same lineup as the first album. Brian De Greave on guitars and lead vocals. Erik Laan on keyboards and lead vocals and occasional backing vocals. Jos Uffing on drums and occasional lead vocals. And Jurjen Bergsma on bass. So this is still the first incarnation of Silhouette, and this is just a fantastic album. So there is lyrics. And some more lyrics, if you can see there. There you go. There's some more lyrics here. Some more lyrics here. And some more lyrics here too. And some more lyrics here. And some more lyrics here, and some credits here too. So tracks we got here. Concert Hangover, which is a great opener. Kind of sounds like GTR / Steve Hackett, you know, the guitar playing, you know, the keyboards. Very, very angelic sound here. Don't Threaten My Peace of Mind, another great song. Searching for Hers, another great song. Second Time Down, another great song. Don't Mess With Me, Feeling God, Unreal Meeting, Cinema Backseat, Far Away, the title track Moods, another Bedtime Story, and Answers. It's a really good collection of songs here. Standout tracks for me are Concert Hangover. I just love the opening guitar work from Brian De Greave. It's just really sounds very similar to Steve Hackett. It's just fantastic, it is. Don't Threaten My Peace of Mind, Second Time Down, Don't Mess With Me, Feeling God, Far Away, and the title track Moods. But it's a fantastic album. I love this album. This is really, really good. So there you have it, Moods. Great follow-up from their debut album. Love it. So we move on to the next album, which came out in 2012, and this one could very well be my favourite. And this was the first album I ever heard by Silhouette, and for me, it's just fantastic. And this is Across the Rubicon. So great follow-up and continuation from the first two albums, and for me, this could very well be not only my favourite Silhouette album, but I consider this to be their best one. It's just got lots of great songs and great playing from everyone. It's just fantastic. Great sounds, great material, you name it, this album has got it all. So let's have a look. So pretty much the same lineup, as you can see there. So let's have a look. So we got some lyrics there, some cool artwork here as well. We've got some more lyrics here. And some more lyrics here, some more amazing artwork here too. Yeah, it's a really, really good album. This is. Could very well be my favourite of their entire catalogue. So we've got the title track, Across the Rubicon, Breathe, Empty Places, When Snow's Falling Down, Anybody, Grendel Memories, Nothing, Don't Stop This Movie, and we've got two bonus tracks, which is When Snow's Falling Down, single edit, and When Snow's Falling Down, theatrical acoustic version. So some really good stuff here. And as I mentioned, you know, as you go through their catalogue, the songs start to get more and more longer, and it's just fantastic. Standout tracks for me are Breathe, Grendel Memories, Nothing, Don't Stop This Movie, and Empty Places. It's just really, really good. And Brian De Grieve's vocals and guitar playing on full display. Erik Laan's keyboards and vocals all on full display. Everybody just sounds fantastic. And for me, this could very well be Silhouette's best album. So there you have it. Across the Rubicon. Fantastic. So we move on to the next album, which came out in 2014. And this is Beyond the Seventh Wave. So this album is kind of like one track, but basically split up into like various different movements. And for me, this is another one of Silhouette's best albums. And it's one of those albums you've got to really listen to in its entirety to fully be immersed in the music. It's really, really good. So let's have a look. So it's kind of like their concept album in a way. So there's the lyrics, and there's some more lyrics here as well. Cool picture here. So we got some additional musicians here on this album, so as you can see there. There's some more lyrics. So now the band have expanded into a 5-piece band. So originally, first 3 albums were 4 of them, so now they've expanded into 5 guys. And this would pretty much remain their lineup for most of their career. So there's some more lyrics. And some more lyrics. And some more lyrics here too. And there's the credits as well. So the band we've got here is Erik Laan on bass, Brian De Greave on guitars and vocals, Erik Laan on keyboards, on second guitars, and Rob Van guest performances from Laura ten Woodrede on violin, Ruben van Gustatum on cello, Tom Schuschapenzil on Moog synthesizer, and Mario on flute and backing vocals. And all of the songs and lyrics are written and composed by Brian De Greave and Erik Laan. So that's kind of like the core of the band, as they've pretty much been in the band since day one, really. So tracks we got here is Prologue, Betrayed, Web of Lies Part 1, The Vow, Web of Lies Part 2, The Plot, In Solitary, Escape, Lost Paradise, Betrayed Again, Devil's Island, the title track Beyond the Seven. Web of Lies Parts 1 and 2, In Solitary, Lost Paradise, strong album, and a great continuation from the previous three. So really good album here. So we move on to the next album, which came out in 2017, and this is a CD DVD live album, and this is Staging the Seventh Wave. So this is pretty much Beyond the Seventh Wave played live in its entirety from start to finish, and there's also some extra songs from Silhouette's catalogue. And for me, this is a very impressive live performance, and to actually watch Silhouette perform this, as I said, they pretty much play all of Beyond the Seventh Wave in its entirety, but it's more extended, so it's a lot longer than the studio album, but it's a fantastic performance. And for me personally, as much as I enjoy the DVD, I think the live CD is a little bit better in terms of sound. It's an amazing experience to really listen and take it all in. So let's have a look. There's not really a lot to see here. So it's pretty much the same musicians who played on the studio album. So the DVD is One Real Meeting, and we got bonus material, Lost Paradise, Betrayed Again, and Devil's Island, which were like from the earlier albums. So the DVD's got some extra tracks, and the CD doesn't have any extra tracks. So really, you've got to have both to really fully appreciate the live performance of this band performance. So standout tracks for me are Web of Lies Part 1 and 2, In Solitary, Escape, Lost Paradise, the title track Beyond the Seventh Wave, Wings to Fly, When Snow's Falling Down, and the bonus tracks Lost Paradise and Betrayed Again. That's on the DVD. And the CD is pretty much the same as well, but good, strong live album, and one of the band's greatest achievements, I think. I think they did an amazing job playing all of Beyond the Seventh Wave in its entirety, and everyone's just on their A game, and great tight musicianship from Silhouette. So there you have it, Staging the Seventh Wave. Great stuff here. So we move on to the next album, and this one came out in 2017 too, and this is the last album that Silhouette have released to date, and this is The World is Flat and Other Alternative Facts. So this has got not as many tracks as the other albums, but they're still quite long, but at the same time this is a very enjoyable album, and this is a band that just continues to keep getting better and better with every listen. So let's have a look. So there's some lyrics here. And some more lyrics. And some more lyrics too. And some more lyrics here. And credits, and this is pretty much the same lineup that we have from the last couple of albums. So pretty much the live band is now the set lineup for Silhouette. So we've got tracks March of Peace, The Flow, 6 Feet Underground, The Epic Symphony for a Perfect Moment with 5 movements, Perfect Moments, Keep the Memory Alive, Lost Diaries, Lucid Dreams, The Promised, and Sakura, and Turn It Off. So All of the music and lyrics are written and composed by Brian De Greave and Erik Laan, but this is a really good album, this is. And the standout tracks for me are 6 Feet Underground, Symphony for a Perfect Moment, and March of Peace. Good, strong, solid album, really enjoyable, and one that you can still pick up quite easily. You know, you can still see this one floating around somewhere. Definitely worth checking out. So there you have it. The World is Flat and Other Alternative Facts. A fantastic album, and definitely one worth checking out, and one that you could still easily pick up. Fantastic stuff. So that would be the last album that Silhouette have recorded and released to date, and it's coming up to nearly 6 years already since the band have recorded and released any new material. I did hear a story once that there was a possibility that Silhouette could be releasing a new album, but I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen any recent activity, so fingers crossed we'll see a new Silhouette album one day, because I think they're a fantastic band, very underrated. I feel more people should know about them because they're extremely talented, and as I said at the beginning, they deliver top-notch quality music of the highest order. But we'll see, really. So which Silhouette album do I think is the best? Well, it's not a hard one for me. I love all of these albums, but the one that I'm going with as Silhouette's best album is Across the Rubicon, mainly because this was my introduction to the band, and I feel with this album it's really captured the band at their peak. Brian De Grieve's vocals, his guitar playing is on full display. Erik Laan's vocals and keyboards is on full display. Everyone's at the top of their game, and they just sound really tight, and it's a great sounding album as well. That's another thing I wanted to quickly mention. All of these albums have unbelievable production, but for me, this album, Across the Rubicon, is just an absolute masterpiece in my opinion, and I think it's fantastic, and it's one that I go back to listening to the most. I just love it. It's just an amazing album. So there you have it. Silhouette, Across the Rubicon, my all-time favourite album from the band, and one that I consider their absolute best ever. So there you have it. So that's going to be it from me. I am going to wrap this up now. What's your favourite Silhouette album? Is it A Maze? Is it Moods? Is it Across the Rubicon? Is it Beyond the Seventh Wave? Or is it Staging the Seventh Wave? Or The World is Flat and Other Alternative Facts? There's no right or wrong answer. We all have our favourite albums. You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Progressive Rock and Metal Album Review Series. So until then, take care everybody, and stay safe, and once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.